Welcome back again to another video. You might gonna say, why did this crazy guy is dress up the way he's dressed up right now? Oh, because the topic today is about why Russia and China fear USA. And so I try to imitate the Russians by doing this in a scolding here, man. But I'm going to talk about those three military power nations in the world. But also, I want to give you a brief history about every one of them. Okay, please subscribe to my channel. Okay, very important. Subscribe to my channel so that you can have all my videos. There is a variety of videos that I do. Uh, some of them are in education, religion, philosophy, social issues, different topics. And so I want you to subscribe to my channel. Okay, and let me talk about USA. Uh, since I am in USA, it's cold over here. This is the land of the immigrants. It's the melting pot. That's what we call in United States because different ethnic groups come into this country. And it has a Judeo-Christian inheritance. We come from this Judeo-Christian inheritance. We believe in God. It is the only country in the world they have in the currency in God we trust. We are proud about that. There is no other country in the world they have in God we trust. We do in the currency. And it has, listen to me, why Russia and China are afraid. We have 800 uh, military bases in the world in 80 countries. And let me name some of them. If I didn't pronounce it right, just forgive me. Okay? Fort Bragg, Liberty, just Liberty also, in North Carolina with 60,000 military personnel, the biggest in the world. Fort Campbell, in the border of Kentucky and Tennessee, take both of the states. Four more in Georgia and Alabama. Fort Cavazos, which was before Fort Hood, but they changed the name because of the General Cavazos, Mexican, born in Texas. This is in Killen, Texas. John Base Lewis McCourt um, in Tacoma, Washington. Camp Humphrey in South Korea. Camp Fuji in Japan. Camp Hansen in Okinawa, Japan. The uh, naval station in Guantanamo Bay in Cuba. And it has more sites, more this camps and forts in Germany, Italy, England, Australia, Kuwait, Norway, Philippines, Spain, Syria, etc., etc., etc. So you will see the power of the United States that it has in armament. And not only in armament, but also in economy, money. But I'm going to talk about Russia. Russia is the land of the Rush, mixed race of Romans and Greeks. Russia's dynasty came from the Slavs, Indo-European related ethnic groups that speak various Slavic languages. Uh, Russia was influenced by the father of communism, Karl Marx, his ideas. He influenced so much Russia. And I'm going to talk about those people that were the rulers of Russia, Prince Vladimir the Great, who converted from paganism to Christianity and introduced the Orthodox religion in Russia, which still dominate in Russia. Um, Ivan the Terrible, they call him that way, became the first Tsar uh, for 3 centuries. You know, for 300 years, Russia was dominated by the Tsars, which they act like kings. And it was ruled by the Romanov monarchy. You remember that family, the Romanov, uh, for 300 years dominate Russia until groups start raising up in revolution, and the Bolshevik revolution in 1917 is took over the Tsars, not anymore. And so Nicholas II, and was the last Tsar, and his family was in a cruel way, they killed all the family. And this is because Lenin uh, do this, approve this killing. Mm. Vladimir Lenin became the ruler of Russia through the Communist Party of Soviet Union. He died in 1924. Then Joseph Stalin became the worst criminal dictator in Russia also. This guy, to oppose opposition to him, he killed at least 750,000 people. And he died in 1953 from a stroke. You remember in 1939, the World War began, an agreement between two previous enemies. They were enemies, Stalin and Adolfo Hitler. But at that time, they became friends because of this. And Russia, at that time, invaded Poland, Romania, Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, and Finlandia. Then Germany broke the agreement. And in 1941, tried to invade Russia. Russia defend themselves, and they are in a fight with Germany when Hitler was in power, which Russia win in the Battle of Stalingrad. And also, I want you to remember something. Some people don't think about this, but Russia was the one who freed the Jewish people from the Holocaust. You remember that? Not only that, but also free the whole Europe, stabilize Europe. And Putin, I hear him on TV one time to say that we don't appreciate what Russia did. Of course, we appreciate that they freed the Jewish people from the Holocaust. Then he came another power in Russia, Nikita Khrushchev. He was a good ruler. But at that time, then people, there was some armament in Germany. The United States still have some soldiers in Germany, in Berlin. And so since the West was part of the United States was holding, and then the East was communist. So they built the Berlin Wall in 1961 as a way to stop people from coming from the East to the West. Nikita Khrushchev told the USA to pull out of Germany, but they didn't want it. They still want to have the armament there. And then they built the Berlin Wall. People went to sleep, and the morning when they wake up, then the Berlin Wall was there. And people tried to jump over from the East to the West because the East was communist, the West was capitalist, and they have the model of the West, and so some of them they die. But that wall became down. You remember uh, in um, in 1961. Uh, Let me see. They built it in 1961 as as a way to stop people from coming to east to the west. Uh, but when in 1989, when Reagan was in power, the president Ronald Reagan, uh, then Mikhail Gorbachev uh, was the president of Russia, and he was in a very uh, catastrophic political crisis. Russia was very poor, so much poverty, and 15 nations in 1999 separate from Russia. Uh, I'm going to name some of them. So it was a crisis in Russia, and the ones that separate was Armenia, Belarus, Estonia, Georgia, Latvia, Lithuania, Lithuania, Moldova, Ukraine, etc., etc. There were 15 nations. They separate from the Soviet Union. And so what happened? Ronald Reagan uh, took this opportunity to say in national television, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down the wall. You know, you remember Ronald Reagan. He was a good president of the United States. So what happened with all these nations that separate from Russia, then Soviet Union doesn't exist anymore. You know, it became Russia. And Gorbachev tried to help the nation, tried to help Russia, and introduce perestroika and glasnost. You remember that to help the country. He became a very good friend of Ronald Reagan. Um, and actually, it's when Ronald Reagan ended the Cold War. Do you remember that? Because he says the evil empire and told Gorbachev, please, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down the wall. And people were amazed how Reagan was talking to Gorbachev. Um, and Gorbachev was a good president, you know. Rest in peace. um, the Berlin Wall was down, you remember that, you know, and people were enjoying it with the pigs and shovels to tear down the wall and then reunite the Germany. Um, Gorbachev resigned, um, and the next president was Boris Yeltsin. You know, when Gorbachev resigned, they replaced the red flag for the three-color flag, which Russia have at this time. Um, uh, Boris Yeltsin resigned after that in 1999, and then named one of his successors, uh, KGB agent Vladimir Putin, who is in power at this time. Uh, Let me tell you about KGB. KGB is an enterprise of criminals. That's why we shouldn't trust any agent that comes from the KGB. Uh, we don't trust any of them because they are a bunch of criminals. So Russia has only 21 military bases in the world. Now, let me talk about China. Uh, there's a theory that that the Chinese people came from Africa. My theory is, and it will be always the same. that the human race comes from the three sons of Noah. Uh, I'm gonna introduce some of the Bible. The three sons of Noah: Shem, Ham, and Japheth. Shem is associated with Asia, Ham with Africa, and Japheth with Europe. Um, they introduced the Communist Party. The Communist Party was founded in from 1921 to 1935. It was founded in Shanghai by Mao Zedong, another criminal. One of the terrible criminals. Zedong was terrible. Uh, Mao reforms in the agriculture caused one of the largest famines in human history, with 56 million deaths from starvation and 3 million by suicide. They introduced the policy of one child in China in 1979, just uh, to stop the population in China. He introduced, and so they limited the births of kids. Then the next ruler, which was Deng Xiaoping, maybe you know in history that that's the one that came over to the United States. He visited United States. Deng Xiaoping was a very nice guy. Then he enjoyed how successful United States was, took the model of United States, brought it over to China, and he didn't care if he was communist or capitalist or anything, or Christianity or anything like that. What he wanted is to be the country successful. He introduced new reforms in the agriculture, in industrial trade, and cultural ties. Followed the model of the West that caused the economy to grow in China, and became so rich by industrial production and manufacturing exports. Chinese people work more than 8 hours a day. That's another thing why they are so rich now. I've been working with Chinese people, and it seems to me like I never get tired. It probably is the greed they have. I don't know what it is, but they work and work and work and work. With 8 hours, I have enough. I don't want to work anymore. Um, and so, also, some companies from the United States began to move over to China to pay cheap labor. That's another thing that brought China to the place they are at this time. Uh, in 2013, Xi Jinping, which is the ruler right now in China, took the office as president. Uh, the conflict that he has at this time, Xi Jinping, is the Taiwan, because Taiwan separated from China. Uh, they separated in 1949, and the Taiwanese people don't want to go back again. They enjoy the life of the West, uh, and also, well, United States defend Taiwan, because this is one of the things about United States. What it does, is it's defending nations that are weak. Nevertheless, Taiwan is very rich at this time, probably one of the richest places in the world, because the exportation and to the United States and the help of the United States. Another thing is the strategic side that they have. The island of Taiwan is a very strategic location for anything that they happen in Asia. So United States protect Taiwan. Um, China has uh, about 5 military bases. So all of this that I told you, my point is this: you are in a very comfortable country. Don't worry. Russia and China don't gonna fight with the United States because they know how powerful this nation is. But because United States is so powerful, it's because of the inheritance that they had, Judeo-Christian inheritance, and also most of us that live in this country, we believe in God. And God is protect the nation, and He's going to protect you until the end. And so that was to tell you all these stories is because I want you to be comfortable in this country and be a good citizen of this country and enjoy the country. I love this country as well as Mexico. I love Mexico too. You know, Mexico has been changed uh, lately because of the new president, Andres Manuel Lopez Obrador, is doing so many things. You can see it, and this is a fact. When you see the immigration, you don't see it from Mexico. You see it from Venezuela and other uh, Central America nations. Guatemala or in other places there, but you don't see it from Mexico. Why? Because Mexico have a lot of work, and this president is pushing the economy and tear down the corruption in Mexico. There was like 36 years of corruption. So he's doing so good. And you're going to hear more about Mexico. I'm going to make a video about Mexico that you can see how Mexico is now. It's different from what it was before. Mm, don't forget to subscribe to my channels that you can see more of these videos. And another thing is this: since the videos are in English and Spanish, every video that I do it in both languages. If you speak only English, uh, hit the other video similar to this, because, and then you will start speaking Spanish, and vice versa. If you speak only Spanish, then hear my video in English, and then you're gonna start speaking in English. That's what I did before. I don't speak a great English, but that's the way I learned, English. And of course, it was a process and hard, but I'm here. And so God bless you and be happy.